For some reason, my camera just shut completely off. I didn't even touch anything and it went completely off. So, give me a second to refresh the page so that I can see chat again. Looks like I'm working. Okay, so into the physics chart already. Juicy. I didn't target my desk at all. From the last one. I'm trying to text somebody. That's why I said go to part two. Darn it. Stupid phone. Hello. My camera is, or my other computer is now facing a different way, so I'm like having to shift so I can see. Okay, so as you see, I didn't clean my desk up because I didn't feel like it yesterday. This is my husband's idea of a joke because I told you guys he would say something about my box not being square, so he got me that out. So I went to the Dollar Tree the other day and I spent money I shouldn't have. I got the big eraser so that we can do some carving. Not today, because I'm not sure what I want to do. What I want to carve. But my Dollar Tree had these wooden cutouts. There's a whale, a shell, and a seahorse. And there's two. It looks like there's, yeah, because it says there's 6 pieces, so there's 2 of each in there. And then I got the dolphin, the sea turtle. It took me forever to figure out that that's a mermaid because that's her ponytail. Let's turn it that way. Oops. Yeah, I can paint these. I can decoupage, whatever. This one has the ladybugs. And then there's 2 owls and 2 butterflies. And I love these big bags they come in. And they're very light wood, so they would make awesome magnets, tags, whatever. Okay, so what do I want to talk about? Here's that. So I was watching this lady the other day, and she was gifted in friend mail, friend mail, not mail, friend mail, something called Chalk Couture. So I've been looking at it. That's what I spent most of the day doing yesterday. I was looking at this Chalk Couture on YouTube. Because I thought, dude, this sounds really interesting. It sounds like it'd be fun to play with. The starter kit for Chalk Couture, from what I saw, was $120. I'm like, it's not that fun to play with then. So this morning, I did watch some videos on how to use it and stuff like that. And so this morning I was not Googling, but YouTubing how to make my own chalk. Yeah, they'd make really cute ornaments too. I was trying to Google how to make this couture chalk paste. And one lady used a product called Unicorn Spit, and one of their products with the Unicorn Spit. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the name Unicorn Spit. Really, people? That's just the weirdest flipping name I have ever heard. And when I think of Unicorn Spit, first of all, paint products do not come to mind. All I can imagine is this unicorn spitting everywhere. It's just, I don't know. It's a very cute name. It really is, but yeah. But apparently, whoever makes Unicorn Spit, they actually have a product to make like this, like the Chalk Couture stuff, which is kind of cool. I didn't price it because I figured it's probably a lot cheaper, but still, I don't know. Their paint is beautiful because the colors the woman was using, I was like, oh my god, that is so pretty. Some of them have glitter, some of them were just, your regular paints and stuff. And she would, whatever this powder is that the Unicorn Spit company sells, or person, I don't know if it's a person or a company, you mix it with the paint, and then you let it sit for about 20 minutes, and then you've got the like the Chalk Couture paste. And I was like, well, that's really cool. Then I watched another YouTuber who took just acrylic paint, and she took a clay face mask and made it. Now with the Couture chalk paste, you use it with a stencil, and you can yeah, I know, but the okay, the Unicorn Spit one, if you put it on your chalkboard, it'll come off, okay, because it is basically a chalk paint, from what the lady said. The other YouTuber I watched, she used latex paint and the face mask. That will not come off your chalkboard. It is a permanent thing. So anything you put it on, it would stay. My understanding with the Couture and the Unicorn Spit one is that it's a chalk that you press through a stencil onto a chalkboard, and then when you get tired of that message, you just wipe it off, do another message. So those were the only two recipes I could find for making homemade chalk paste. Until I started watching little kids. And there's something to be said about watching little kids sometimes. They apparently, a few years back, little kids were doing something about, they were challenging themselves to do something with chalk. Most of the videos didn't have any words, but they were calling it making chalk paste. All they were doing was taking sidewalk chalk, grating it up, and adding water. And these kids were making their own paste. Are you guys listening? They were just grating up chalk and adding water and making their own paste. So I was thinking, I've got all this white chalk, and I've got some distilled. Now they were using regular tap water. Kids, you know, they don't think about molding and stuff like that like we do. So I thought, I've got this white chalk. What the hey? Let's try it. It's either gonna work or it's not gonna work. Oh my gosh! I just got done watching this one girl. She had this. It was so cute. There's no words to it at all. She has this giant pizza pan laying in the floor, one of the disposable ones. It's on top of a towel. She brings out this box of sidewalk chalk, which I had to laugh at the sidewalk chalk board or box because on it says washable. Okay, isn't all chalk washable? So that I found that funny that they actually put on the box washable. But anyway, so she has these big old things of chalk, and she brings out a food grater, like a potato peeler, and she's just going to town on it. And then she gets tired of that, and then she starts using her fingernails. Then she brings out a knife, and she starts cutting it into pieces. And she gets tired of that. And apparently she had done a bunch of white chalk and then froze it in a cake form. So she brings it out, and as her hands are heating it up, it's going back to like the liquid form. And she mixes it in with the other one. And I mean, she had chalk all over her and just squishing it between her fingers. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking and I'm like, here all these adults are going, oh, you need this, you need this, you need this. And our kids are just grating up normal sidewalk chalk and adding water. And adding water. And that just mind blown. Okay, so we're gonna try this. We're gonna be kids. We're gonna be like 9 and 8 years old. We're just gonna grate this little sucker up into a container. We're gonna add some water. I'm not sticking my fingers in it. And we're gonna see if we can get it to work. I mean, holy moly. I get one of our handy dandy containers. You know, I've got 10 million of because there for a while I was buying everything I could get my hands on. Yeah, I mean, sometimes we have to look to the kids. Now, one girl I was kind of impressed with. Um, I'm assuming she was a teenager. She had some squeeze bottles. Yeah, you can see that. Some squeeze bottles. And she took flour, food coloring, and water, and she made what she called liquid chalk. Hi, Catherine. How are you? And I can't find my grater. Well, flippity flippity. But she made what she called liquid chalk out of flour, water, and food coloring. And I'm like, that is so creative. Not what I want, but so creative. And she was using that outside. And I cannot find my grater that we bought for grating our chalk. Oh, this is not good. Huh. And let me see if my mini hammer is in. Not good. My mini hammer. Oh, look, my mini hammer's in here. I bet Catherine would know. I am doing awesome. She's like a guru too. I can't hit this too hard because that's glass. But we're gonna try this. It shouldn't, really need to be pounded. I'm just trying to turn it back into a powder form. But Ms. Catherine, have you seen the couture chalk that everybody's doing through the stencils? Oh, I have never heard of that. I just thought that was so fascinating. There's this new thing everybody's doing. And at the beginning, I was telling everybody that I was looking into it. It's called Couture Chalk. And the starter kit is $100 or $120. No, thank you. I don't have that kind of money. So I was trying to look up how to make chalk paste. And all the adults were doing like, one woman used latex paint and a face mask. And yeah, and all it is it's chalk in a paste form that you can wipe off a chalkboard. And like I said, I was watching some DIY people, and they were using, one lady used latex paint and a face mask. And another lady used unicorn spit products. Well, I'm sure What's in the starter kit? You get a bunch of stencils. I think it was 5 3-ounce jars of chalk paste, different colors, and you get one or two chalkboards, something like that. But I was like, there has to be a way to make chalk paste. And that's when I came across some kids, funny enough, they were 2 English little girls, and they were doing what they were calling a chalk challenge, where it was to make chalk paste. And all they were doing was taking sidewalk chalk, grating it up, and adding water. So I was like, okay, that looks fun. As you see, I can't find my grater. So I'm smushing it with a hammer. And then I remembered that Catherine had done something with chalk, and I couldn't remember what it was. And then I was remembering that Amy made chalk paint. So I was like, okay, let's try this. So this is just one little thing of chalk, one little chalk stick. Now everybody said the consistency. That's awesome. Sorry, I'm getting my distilled water. It fell over. So all the videos say the same thing. It wants to be like a pudding consistency. So I know I don't want too much water. So I'm just going to try about that much. I don't know how much that was, so don't ask. It's just a drop. And I'm sure it's probably not enough. But watching that one little girl earlier, where she was just getting all kinds of dirty, playing in that chalk, it just was so awesome. I bought cheap street salt, grated it on an old grater, mixed it with water. So I thought that was you who did that. I thought I remember watching you do that because some of the girls were making comments about the chalk you got. Which we won't go there. But it was funny. So like I said, I'm not 100% sure how much water to add. I just know that I wanted to try this. Now a lot of the stencils they were, oh yeah, I came in just I had missed the very first comment. I had came in at the next one, and it was about the time you were showing it, and I was like, OMG. But I went to, where was I? I was at a store here, and I was going to grab some sidewalk chalk, and it was no joke. Looked just like what you had that day. And my husband said, I am not going to the counter with you if you buy that. And I said, well, I don't have enough money to buy it, so we're safe. It was out of my budget that day. I didn't have enough. But I am going back to get some. Okay, do you add water until the lumps are gone, Catherine? That's the only thing. I don't want to add too much. Oh, if I'd have had the money, I'd have soap on him. He would have went to the counter. See, I don't know how much is enough water. So let me show this to you. Where's my camera? My camera's been moved. So does that look about right? Use an old spoon. Looks good. And the great thing about this is I don't have colored chalk, but I've got all kinds of pigments like eyeshadow I can add to the white and make whatever color I want. And I don't think the eyeshadow would hurt anything. I think it still would wipe off of a chalkboard just the same as the Couture chalk. Um, and they say store it in an airtight container. Okay, well that's airtight, I know that. But if it does dry out, you just spritz it with some water, and you have like food coloring. Oh, I could use ink in this, and it would still wipe off the chalkboard. Oh, I get my eyeshadow from the Dollar Tree, so that I have a lot of it. Use ink. Oh, that's cool. Now I don't have a stencil, and I don't have a chalkboard. Well, I do have a chalkboard. I have my tombstone. Oh, let me put the lid back on this because if you've watched me very long, you know I'm accident prone. So let me go grab my chalkboard real quick. That's the only chalkboard I own for now. Let's get some of this out of here. Now, the only thing is, I don't know what stencil to use. I've seen people say you can use any kind of stencil. Let me find a stencil that I want to use. Just thinking think I have a stencil right here. Let's see, what's that? Is that just an alphabet? These are just alphabets. Well, this one has words. Let's see, cheese. Fries. Tomato. Yeah, I don't want that one. Well, that was just lovely. That was a can of beets that just went all over the floor. Guess what? They're staying. Let's try. I want to try that rose. What Stephen King book do I have out? That one's Carrie. I'm reading Carrie. Oh, I love. I'm on the fence about Pet Cemetery. It's one of those I love it and hate it at the same time. Not gonna find a car or a squeegee. Dora Hush. Tape. Yeah, I've read this one. I don't know how many times. Like I said, this is just a cheap old Dollar Tree chalkboard, but it's a chalkboard, so. Oh, my husband just picked me up. Hold on. It is 7 DVDs. Oop, dropped it on. It's got The Stand, Langoliers, The Golden Years, The Dead Zone, Pet Cemetery, Silver Bullet, and The Graveyard Shift. Now, out of all them movies, there's only 3 I didn't have. I didn't have Langoliers, Golden Years I didn't have, and Graveyard Shift. Actually, I'm not sure if I have Silver Bullet either. I have all the books, but I didn't have all the movies. I have Langoliers, but it's on a VHS. So I'm excited. No, I do have Silver Bullet, but I don't believe I have Graveyard Shift. So, yeah. But I just flipped it over. I'm like, oh yeah, that's who's in Graveyard Shift. So I meant Silver Bullets. I do have that one. But I was Walmart had it. Oh, now I like Dean Koontz too. I don't think I still have the book, but one of his, what was it called? Was it Insomnia? I believe. Oh, that was an awesome book. Well, that Stephen King collection was at Walmart for $20. In the golden years, I've been keeping an eye out for that movie. The only place I could find that movie was at a used bookstore, and it was $30 just for the one movie. And when we saw that one, he said, if you want it, get it. And I'm like, okay. Ooh, The Winter Moon. Yeah, Stephen King has a new one out, a new book out, but I didn't get to get it. You know, I don't know if I made enough to do this. We may just do this part. I don't know. Let's see, because I don't know if I made enough. Squishy somewhere. Maybe. There might be enough. I don't know how much of this stuff you're supposed to use, because I don't do this. I don't stencil. The only time I stenciled was my bathroom wall. I think it's too wet. Ah, maybe a little too wet. Maybe I should have let it dry a little bit. I'll let you just a second. Extra from around it. I do know they say you have to let the couture to set so it dries. So I'm assuming I'll have to do the same with this. If I would quit playing with it, you know me. I'm impatient. I don't know how long this will take to dry. See, that one's already dry. I love Stephen King. I mean, and Dean Koontz. They can take you to places you can't even imagine. I just read a bunch of short stories from Stephen King, and one of them, I can't remember the name of it, but it had to do with a laptop. And this guy, he was a college professor, and he taught literature, and he loved books. He just wanted books. And he was interested in this girl, and the girl was like, why don't you invest in this laptop or a tablet? I think it was a laptop. You can get all your books downloaded onto that, and then you don't have to carry around heavy books with you. And so he wanted to impress her, so he did. Well, he wound up getting a laptop or whatever from another, like, universe or whatever. So when he opened it, it would show him what was going to happen. And at first he thought he was losing his mind, and then he decided he was going to change things that he saw. And it's one of those where there's always been a theory with time travel. If you go back in time and you change something, then something else is going to happen. And him and his friend had been reading the paper, and the girl he was in love with is on a bus with some girls, the basketball team, I think, or volleyball team, and they're in an accident and everybody's killed. So he and this guy go and save him. Well, it turns out that when they save him, one of the girls is actually a serial killer, and she had been killing people, and because they saved her, she can now continue her killing spree. But it's just one of those. It was a very weird and interesting story. I have that book. I don't think I've read it yet. I need to get it out and read it. It's still wet. I wonder if I can pull it off with it still wet. We're gonna see, because I'm like impatient. I'm like a child at Christmas. What can I say? It wasn't too much bleed through, so that's not bad. That wasn't too bad for my first attempt. Let's see. There was a little bleed through, but I think it was because it was a little runny than what it should be. My husband would notice. I got this to write him love notes on. As you guys saw, it said, I love you always and forever. I'm about to go to Dollar Tree and see if they've got more chalkboards. And then, of course, your stencil, because all it was chalk and water, just cleaned your up. So, oh, that was kind of cool. I had a ghost rose there for a minute. But yeah, I wanted to try that. I just thought that was so cool. You know, I was watching these videos, and the ladies were doing all this couture chalk, and I'm like, I want to try it. I don't want to spend $120 on some chalk. But like I said, the kits are really cool. They come with all kinds of stencils. It comes with the chalk. And now their chalk, they do on glass. They do on what was it? They do it on glass. I guess you can do it on wood, but they have a special chalk paint that you can do on fabric, which is no big deal. You can do that with paint. Yeah, I know. And then I saw the other lady, she was cutting vinyl stencils with her Cricut or whatever her machine is. And I'm thinking, those vinyl stencils, if you're not careful, they rip when they come off. I'm not going to waste my money on vinyl to make a stencil that I can only use one time. You know, to me, that's pointless. When I can use these stencils that I've had forever that are actually for painting that I don't use. Because I'm not good with that dabber thing. But yeah, I don't know. Can you put just regular chalk on glass, Catherine? Because that's something I don't know. Will this work on glass? See, if I'm really careful, I can clean up around it. Oh, and if you haven't checked out Catherine's YouTube channel, check that out. She is a huge believer in upcycling stuff. No, you have to coat the glass with something that will stick. Okay, alright. She makes some beautiful stuff. I learned how to make leather from her. There's a couple other things I've learned to make from her. Just off the top of my head, I can't think. But yeah, there's our rose. I could probably use a Q-tip and go around that and make it better, but I'm happy. I just think that's so cool. Oh yeah, she will make you laugh, that's for sure. because she's from Denmark. So sometimes her translation is funny. She doesn't mean it to be, but it is. And that's why we love you. Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying. You know, that's why I don't use vinyl to make my stencils. I use heavy plastic. I use book cover, the plastic book covers. Yeah, the plastic packaging. I can run that through my Cricut too. These are just some stencils that I had from, a lot of them were my mom's. She did a lot of painting and stuff, and coloring and all that kind of good jazz and razz. So I've got lots of stencils. You can make stencils out of cardstock and then put Mod Podge on them. They last a little longer. The stencils that come in the Couture chalk kits, they're screen. They're a screen stencil. So where your cutout is, right, like the rows, there would be screen in here, which I don't understand why there would be screen, but I guess that's so you don't have bleeding. I don't know. If the chalk wasn't so wet, I probably wouldn't have had any bleeding. But then the other thing I wanted to share with you guys that I learned is where to put my popsicle sticks. There they are. I want to see if this works. Remember, I was trying to make that fence the other day, and the stupid popsicle sticks kept bleeding. Well, I watched this lady. She wasn't using popsicle sticks, but she was using some pictures she got from Dollar Tree, and the paint started to bleed. And she goes, if you don't know how to fix this, I'm going to show you. And I think that bottle's empty. Maybe not. Maybe not. She said, what you do, use that crappy brush, is you laugh at your Mod Podge because I don't think there's enough in here. There might be. You Mod Podge it. Okay, so we're going to Mod Podge these two. And remember, they were bleeding like all get out the other day when I was trying to paint them. It's my fault. Okay, my fault, by the way. I said I got my camera in a new spot. So, we're going to try this. And where did the lid? Because if this works, this is going to be awesome. Oh, what? There it is. Here's what the purple one looks like. You can still see a little bit pink at the bottom. I haven't finished it because I don't know. Yeah, that's what she was saying. what she was doing is she made a basket holder. She got 2 signs, and then she got, our Dollar Tree sells these like little wooden signs that are about this long and maybe about this big. And she was trying to paint them, and she noticed the paint was bleeding. And that's when she said, "Oh, to fix that, you just put Mod Podge over it." And I'm like, "You do what?" And then when she went to, because see, you can even see that it put the red on that paper. That's not quite dry yet. I'm afraid to hit it with my heat gun because I think it'll, I'm not worried about it bubbling, I'm worried about it warping my popsicle sticks. But she gave me so, I mean, I've been binge watching her channel because almost all of her crafts come from the Dollar Tree, where she'll, like I said, she took 2 signs, and then, well, let's see, it was 2 signs for the sides, and then 4 for the shelves. And she made the cutest basket holder. She called it a fruit basket holder, but she's using it in her craft room. So I was like, she said, everybody complains. Oh, I do too. She took, I've seen people take the trash cans and turn them into bird cages, or I've seen them take them and turn them into dress forms. She took one, was it the trash can or was it one of the smaller baskets? No, she took one of the smaller baskets and turned it into a light. She turned the basket part into the shade, and I'm like, OMG, how brilliant is that? Yeah, I don't either. I like watching those channels and then going and trying to figure out how I can do it cheaper. Just like I said, the lady I was watching, who does all her crafts mostly from Dollar Tree, was gifted the Chalk Couture set, and I'm thinking, okay, first, what is it? Because she didn't know what it was. And so I looked that up, and I was like, oh, okay, well, surely there's a video on how to make it, especially after I saw how much the kit was. And I was teasing my husband, telling him, hey, baby, I want to try this out, and it's really cheap. He's like, okay, how much is it? Only $120. And he spit his Coke on me. Okay, yeah, that's dry now. So now I have to find my white paint. What is it? Oh, well, we'll do yellow. Because I don't see my white paint. Paintbrush. Going from one extreme to the other. Yeah, and I don't like when you ask questions and they're like, no, this is the only way it can be done. It can't be done any other way. Okay, challenge accepted. I'm going to find a way to do it now. That's not your way. don't think I shook my yellow up enough. No bleeding. Yay. That is awesome. I only did the one side because the other side isn't. No red is coming off, so I'm a happy camper. That's going to be pretty. Let's see. Make sure that blue is not coming off. Nope, the blue's not coming off either. So I guess that's what it is. It's like a sealer. Oh yeah, there's no way I'd spend $120 on something like that. Because okay, each thing of chalk is 3 ounces. And from what one of the ladies said, if you want other colors than what came in your kit, 3 ounces is $9.99. No, thank you. For I say $3.99? No, 3 ounces are $9.99. Right, okay. For $9.99, I can go get a ton of 2-ounce bottles of paint. Yeah. I mean, that's where my mind goes. You know, I can go to Walmart, get this paint for 50 cents. Okay? I can go to Dollar Tree and I can get, like, I don't think I got this, but I think it's 12 sticks of chalk for $1. I can get eyeshadow for $1. You know, yeah, that didn't make a whole lot, but it made enough to do that rose. And okay, well, first of all, the water. This is what I bought to do something else with, and I've still got a ton of it. I used 1 stick of chalk, and it did that rose. I mean, it's just, yeah, you know, and colored chalk really is not that expensive. Sure, it might not be the brightest color. Add pigment to it. If you've already got pigment in your stash and you already have chalk, even if you don't have distilled water, if you just have regular tap water, make it. I mean, these kids, you know, our kids are doing this with sidewalk chalk. And here we are buying fancy name brand crap when our kids have been doing it all along. You know, it just boggles my mind. You know, of course, these need another coat, and the red you're seeing is because I didn't do the bottoms, but it's not from the top. So that's just an awesome trick that I learned and I wanted to share. Maybe some of you knew about it. I didn't. And I like to pass on things I don't know. Yeah, and I mean, if I'm not mistaken, my Dollar Tree started selling colored sidewalk chalk. So, I mean, I can go to the Dollar Tree, grab a box of sidewalk chalk, and no, it may not be like this bright of a blue or this bright of a red, but it's still it's still chalk, you know. It's just mind blowing. Like, I didn't even know you could make your own chalk paint. And I watched a couple of different ladies making chalk paint. I think you were one of them, and somebody else, Amy. And I'm just like, hello, that's so cheap, you know? You get a 50-cent bottle of paint and you put chalk in it. Hello. But yeah, when you're a young, not, I don't want to say a young crafter. Huh. I think the one the lady showed me was she just mixed chalk and paint, but does the does the school glue help it bind and not chip? But this is the one, don't you dare. This is the chalk paint that I wound up making, and you can write on it, and it erases it. Ignore the frog. It's a magnet. You can write on it, it erases beautifully. I didn't do the bottom, but I noticed it had chipped right around it here, so I put the bling, and then I put some lace. Okay. See, I'm learning all kinds of stuff. And then I was looking, I was hoping Arlene would come in today, because she was talking about making her own craft wipes, I guess, using Murphy's oil. And I was watching Stacey Adams. Everybody knows there's Mama Poodle, Pink Poodle, and Stacey added a soap to hers that I've never heard of, and it's an organic soap. And I was wanting to know if I could put something else in place of the soap. I just don't know what. But I've got the Murphy's oil, because I know that's good for cleaning up paints and stuff. Because baby wipes are just getting too expensive. And yes, I know you can get them at the Dollar Tree, but what I'm wanting to do is I got packs of their washcloths, and I wanted to turn those into my cleaning things and be able to do that. But I was tickled when they got these. I want to do one of the butterflies. I just don't know what I want to do to it. I don't know if I want to do a napkin on it. I think a napkin might be pretty cute. Oh yeah, they're very lightweight. I saw somebody else who used olive oil as well. So I can use any kind of soap. Okay, that's good. I just wanted to. Stacy uses all organic, and I know that's for health reasons and stuff like that. It's just if I tell my husband, yeah, I need some organic soap, he's gonna be going like, no, I don't think so. We don't use that here. Like this. Yeah, she was saying like the bottle she bought was like $6, and I'm like, no, I don't think so. Yeah, Murphy's oil I can use for a lot of things, so I didn't mind that, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. See, and then I even thought I could take all these white backings and I can use those. I'm trying to decide. Yeah, probably use just one square to do the butterfly. Okay. Use my really watered down Mod Podge. But I was watching her video yesterday, and oh my god, she had me in tears. She said, I know that you guys can get the baby wipes from the Dollar Tree and all that kind of stuff. And she goes, but we're crafters. We're not cleaning baby butts. That figures. Won't do that then. Oh, I should have done this with other stuff instead of this way. Too late. I'll do it. I watch people doing this all the time, and they're like all perfect and no wrinkles, and I'm like, mine never looked like that. Never. Mine always has the wrinkles. even when I try to, it ain't even sticking. Damn it. Stupid wood drive. Okay. Plan B. I think that Mod Podge is too watery. So there's nothing for it to stick to. Completely dry. It's the lid. I should have known that was going to be too watery. Hey, happy Ray. It took me a minute. I'm like, wait a minute. She changed her name. No, I've never done a hangout. I don't know how. There's Miss Arlene. Hello. Oh, I promised Shay from Hobby Doc Bay that I would do a shout out to her. She is going to start being able to go live, not live again. She's going to be able to start doing videos again. But where she lost her internet, she lost subscribers. And she is just wanting anybody who's not subscribed to her to go check out her channel. I will warn you, if you check out last night's video that says Scream, turn your volume down. Don't have headphones in like I did last night because she blew my eardrums out. I should have known. The title said Scream. She has figured out a way to do YouTube videos again, and she's excited, and she's wanting to get. See, that's why I shouldn't be left alone with napkins. She's wanting to get monetized. So there's your shout out, Shay. Yeah, sure. You just have to tell me how to do it. I don't know how to do it. Hobby Doc Bay. Ruin that napkin. Don't let me kill the napkin. I'll just put something over that spot. So, yeah, she had lost her internet, but she has found a way to where she can make videos again and upload them without having internet. But she lost a lot of subscribers when she lost her internet, apparently. So we're all trying to put the word out. Because she's hoping if she can get enough subscribers and then get monetized that she'll be able to pay for the internet herself. That's her goal, I believe. I do them from a webcam. don't have enough people to do them from my phone. I think I have like 200 subscribers. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I do, but I don't remember what the email address is. I actually thought when I took my 5 months hiatus that I was going to come back and have no or lost a ton. I didn't lose any. I didn't lose any until a couple of weeks ago, I believe it was. Maybe a little bit longer than that. But I know why that happened, and I really don't care. I'm not worried about being monetized. I doubt I'll ever be a big enough YouTube person to do that. So okay, stop touching it. Oh, cool. Okay, I'll look into that. Let's see. Where's my phone? Let's see. I got a lot of text messages. Nothing important. Oh, let's see. Well, I thought I had Hangout on my phone. Let's see. Hold on. I don't have a Bluetooth. Stop hitting that. No, wrong to connect a Bluetooth. No, I don't have one. Yeah, I know it's not found because I don't have one. Am I not? I think I'm subbed to you. Subscribed to you. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Yep, I'm subscribed to your channel, so we're all good. Let's see. Okay, which one do I need? Because there's like Hangout chat, Hangout meetings, Hangout dialer, Hangout. Okay, they're all green. It's not showing up very clear on my phone, and my phone goes dark. Stupid phone. Hold on. I just typed in Hangout and no, I don't want that one. The first one. Make sure. The Hangout chat, because that's what it says. My phone not clear. Do you have an Android phone? I have a oh crap! I just lost it. Hangout. I have a. I don't know. I don't know what my phone is. That's just being honest. Crap. I'll have to do it. The one for chat. Okay, chat. Install. Complete setup. Review your account. Skip. Make it my info. Okay, we'll see what happens. Okay, are you drawing so I can take this off? Let's see what this says. Oh, this one. Let's see. Now you're gonna ask me something silly, aren't you? That I don't have a clue. I just flubbered this butterfly off of. It's not off. Stop it. I'll be right back too because I have got to go get fresh water for my paintbrushes. So, give me just a second, ladies. Talk amongst yourself. Fresh water. Sure, it don't look like it's fresh water. Okay. I'm afraid you're gonna say that. In the water. Someone I was just, I'm not good at multitasking. Let's see, what is my Gmail? Um, should tell me, right? Hmm. Well, um, I just, it just, well, let me download the app. So I've got the app. Let me, hold on. My husband lives in me. Hopefully I don't lose my YouTube doing this. Give me a second. Gmail. I just want to know what my Gmail account is. Let's see. Apparently I'm signed into Hangouts. And it's with my Gmail account. I feel so stupid because I cannot remember. Ah, okay. Edit. Hold on. I feel like a squirrel. Make sure I got everything spelled right. Imagine that. Oh, I got it. Yeah, I just downloaded it to my phone, but when I looked, I was trying to find my email on the computer. It said I was signed in, so I guess I'm signed in on my phone. I don't know, because it's not on my computer. But if I can get it on my computer, that would be great. I keep feeling everything everywhere. I really have to get a better jar for this. Munchy munchy. Another thing I wanted to talk to everybody about. I saw on Facebook, and this really just breaks my heart to no end. But I know that I've got a great group of ladies that watch my videos, and gentlemen too. And I know none of you would do something like this. This woman posted on Facebook, and I'm not going to say her name, and I'm not going to say the name of the woman who basically disrespected her. But when you're doing swaps with people, please, please, please be careful who you are doing swaps with. This woman on Facebook sent pictures of stuff that she was going to send to a woman. The woman was like, yeah, I really want it. And all this kind of stuff. And from what I can gather, the other woman lives in another country. And the woman who got burned lives here in the United States. Now, I'm not saying everybody out of the United States can't go on to this weekend. Okay, that's fine. But she had sent this woman photos of the stuff she was going to send her, and she said the woman seemed excited and kept saying that she sent the Americans package out and all this. But she asked the American for a tracking number of her package. And so, of course, she gave it to her. And needless to say, the American young woman did not receive a package. Plus, this woman has stopped speaking to her. Plus, this woman did a video, said that everything that the Americans sent her was trash and threw it away. And I feel so bad for this woman. I really do. First of all, the pictures of the stuff she sent this woman, I would have died to have. I really would have. I'm grateful for anything anybody ever sends me. And Deb, if you're watching this, sweetheart, I have got your ATCs that I made you in my pocketbook to send you. The post office wasn't open when I took my son to work this morning, so because he had to be there a god-awful hour. But I am going to get it to the mail to you. I've got them. I did them. It was awful. I mean, and I know it also happens to in the reverse. People in the UK will say, hey, let's do a swap, and then they send something over here to America, and an American will do that to them. You know, we as a crafting community, if you say you are going to do something, then do it. If something happens and you can't, get in touch with that person somehow, some way, and let them know you can't. This is giving the crafting community a bad name. I mean, there are a lot of us who refuse to do swaps anymore because of this. Too many people are getting burned. And $35, that's a lot of money. Which which I think it would probably be more than that for a European to send it to America, to send sometimes to send to America. So, I mean, first of all, this person took the time to send you photos. You said, "Oh, yeah, I want that." And then to do a video saying that it was all garbage and throw it away. How rude. You're the one who wanted it. And this woman had put in some very lovely ATCs that she made. So, I mean, it wasn't just like she sent her crafting supplies and some very lovely ATCs, and I forget what else she sent her, but I'm like, this woman took her time to make you art that you said yes you wanted, and then to do that. How cruel can you be? And like I said, I'm not saying names because I don't think it's right, but it's just, and apparently this lady has done it to other crafters as well. So that's just really sad that someone can be like that. I don't get it. I really don't. There's enough ugly people in the world without doing that to a crafter, or to anybody. That's my little rant. It's just that kind of stuff. I don't like people being taken advantage of. And I guess that's one reason why nobody ever hears me asking for stuff. Because I don't want. Are there things I'd like to have? Sure, there's things I'd like to have. If I can't get it myself, I'm not asking for it because I don't want somebody to spend their money, or I don't know. I'm weird. I hate to ask for things. I don't even like asking my husband for stuff. I'm a weirdo. I know it. I know at some point I've got to have either a D-stash or an auction or something to get rid of some of this lovely stuff I don't use. Ray, you live in Georgia, don't you? I was wondering, oh wow, it's 12 o'clock already, ladies. Know how I know? My husband texts. I'm going to have to find out how far away you are from me. My cousin lives in Georgia, and she's a 3-hour drive from me. Because I would love to meet up. Ever since I saw you with Emily, I was just like, I want to meet Happy Ray. That's what I told my husband. I said, I want to meet Happy Ray. He's like, okay, I don't know what a Happy Ray is, but you go right for it. And what's really funny is my cousin changed her name to Sunshine. So that's what took me aback when I was looking at your new channel name, which I really love, by the way. Yeah, he checks up on me every day. If he can. There's some days he can't. My butterfly is coming undone. Yeah, my little Ricky Ticky. I know you're going to ask that. Hold on, let me find the envelope. She writes everything upside down. Dalton? Is that how you say it? Dalton? Dalton. I'm in Seymour. Seymour. You don't see more. Let's show up. And that is spelled because I'm sure you're gonna ask me. Oh, that's not how you spell it. That's how you spell it. Okay, let's smoke break while that dries. I didn't think that you and Emily were that far from me. Which I need to make another trip down to see my cousin. Last time I saw her was 2 years ago, because that right after I lost my job, I needed to get away for a bit. I wish there was more crafters that lived near me. Because then I would just take all this stuff and say, here, let's swap. Just tell me what you want. We just swap. And see, I even thought about that. Like swapping, instead of doing like an auction or something for the money, or a D-stash, saying, okay, I've got this, this, and this. Somebody want to trade something for it, you know? Which, speaking of that, if you're still here, Jennifer, that's something I want to do with you. Because I know you're in the same boat as me, not a lot of money. Maybe we could swap a couple of things. Oh, I can stick that to that. That's extra now. Oh, and I got some news, ladies. I'm not sure if it's considered good news, bad news, indifference news. Okay, in one of the live streams, I told you that my husband's boss spoke to him about buying his business. Well, what's today? Today's Friday. I think it was Tuesday. Let's see, because I didn't come on yesterday and I didn't come on Wednesday. So yeah, Tuesday, my husband comes home and he sits down and he says, okay, he doesn't say this. If you get the wooden cutouts from Dollar Tree, don't heat them up with your heat gun. It warps them. Now my butterfly looks like he's flying. Okay, but other than that, you are 4 hours. It's 2 hours. Oh, cool. That's not bad. Yeah, she's about 3.5 hours from me. The part she lives in. And where she lives is so cute. It's a little country town. When we Googled her address, the house looks nothing like it does now. It was pre-renovations, and it's absolutely gorgeous. But of course, my husband was driving, so it took us less than 3.5 hours to get there. But anyway, my husband comes home Tuesday and he said, well, the crap hit the fan at work. And, that's the cleaned up version. And I'm like, oh God, what happened? And he said that Junior got mad, that's my husband's boss, and basically told the other guy that there was no bleeping way he would ever run the company after him or after my husband, because he was too bleeping stupid. Yeah. So I kind of felt better about the whole situation because the other guy had been telling my husband that he had been offered the job also. And yeah. That was years and years ago, but still, that had always been weighing heavy on me. So knowing he's completely out of the running and that he's not getting it, that it is going to my husband, makes me feel better. But at the same time, scared is all get out. It really scares me. His boss pulled my husband into the office after he blew up at the other two employees and flat out told my husband that what was going to happen was he's looking to replace the other two guys before he leaves, because he finally realizes that these two guys do not respect my husband, nor do they respect the owner, which is my husband's boss, at all. And that there's no way in good conscience that he could leave my husband with two people who will not respect him. And my respect for his boss went up even higher for that. So I'm excited at the prospect of new employees being brought in. On the flip side of that, there is a small chance that I will be going to work for my husband if he gets the business. I may become the new secretary because they definitely need one there, but they don't have one. And my husband said, yeah, a secretary would make things better. And I'm like, well, do you plan on hiring one or what? And he kind of looked at me and he said, why should I hire one when I could just have you come in? So that is something that may happen. I don't know if it would be like an everyday thing or what, which means if it is, I'll be doing videos and probably not as many live streams. But that's in the future, and I'm leaving it in God's hands. Whatever He decides, that's what'll happen. So it's exciting. It's scary. That's one of those where, yeah, it's just, it's a lot to take in. But like I said, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I'm not going to worry about it at the moment. My husband, oh my gosh, he is so funny. His boss is like, but I told you that the business was going to be yours. And he said, you're just acting like it's no big deal. And he said, well, are you planning on retiring tomorrow? He's like, well, no. He said, well, then I'm still an employee. And what good would it serve me to go walking out there saying, I'm going to be the new boss and you're going to do what I say and all this kind of stuff. He says, that doesn't serve me any purpose. And he said, I'm not. He goes, and I don't want you to think I want you out of here just so I can have the business. He goes, so what good does it do me to walk around like, yep, I'm going to be the new owner? My husband is so humble and just, I don't know. He just makes my heart sing. At how gracious he is being about this whole thing. He's like, I'm not worried about anything. He goes, you've not. It's so funny because, I'm asking like all kinds of questions like, are you going to have to hire a secretary? Are you going to have to do this? And he's like, I'm not sweating that stuff. He says, it's not my business yet. And I'm like, well, I know it's not your business, but, We got things we need to figure out. And he's like, we'll figure it out as we go. Okay. That's how laid back my husband is about all this. You know, there was a few things my husband told me that kind of freaked me out. He's just like taking it. It's like que sera, sera for him, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, and that's how my husband is. He really just like takes it and takes everything in stride, and that's what I love. Where I tend to, I'm not good with change. Change really freaks me out. I'm yeah, I'm and when I started asking my husband questions, the first thing he said was, "Are you worried the business will fail if I'm running it?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, no, no! I think my husband could run a paper bag business if he wanted to. I mean, if my husband puts his mind to it, he can do it." And so it's not. I told him, no, it's not that I think you'll fail. I said, the crew that's there now, that's what I'm afraid will fail you. Because if he has to work with the crew that he has now, what would happen is my husband would stay at the job, at the shop, until every order was filled if he had to do it himself. That's just the type of guy he is. If he says, you can expect this by such and such time on such and such day, if he sees that it's not going to be done, he does it. I mean, that's just how it is. And that's why I told him, I said, that's why I think you need a secretary. I said, because you're going to be training people, and also the fact that he'll be the one doing all the field measures, and he'll have to go to all the business meetings. And yeah, he doesn't have a right-hand guy that he can trust, which is kind of sad, because as long as these two guys have been there, you would think that you'd be able to trust them, and you can't. You can't depend on them. You can't. It's just a very messed up situation. The one guy actually had the nerve to tell the boss, "You won't fire me because you need me. You don't have anyone else to do your deliveries and stuff. I mean, it's that bad. It just amazes me how some people's work ethics are. I don't know if it's because, I grew up in a different generation, differently. I was taught that if you have a job, you give it 110%, if not more. And it just seems like this younger generation just really doesn't want to. And I'm not saying that all of them are like that, but the two that are working with my husband and his boss are definitely like that. The boss was talking to the guy about him being chronically late all the time and leaving early all the time. And he says, "What does it matter what I do?" Like, really? And this isn't some like young kid. I mean, he's young to me, but he's in his 30s. The other kid is in his mid to late 20s. But the one that's, really disrespectful, I mean, they both are, but for a 30-year-old, exactly. That's exactly what it is. He has this me mentality, like, you owe me. You should be. And he actually told him, he goes, "Well, I show up for work." And he goes, "But you're never on time." And he's like, "But I show up." Okay, what do you flipping do? You're showing up, but you're holding up progress. They're open from 7:30 in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. He shows up about 8 o'clock in the morning. Then he makes coffee. Then he goes to the bathroom for 30 minutes. Then he makes him a cup of coffee, and then he starts drinking his coffee. So my husband says that usually he starts work about 8:30, and I'm thinking, you know, I would just send him to the house and tell him, "You're useless. Go away." I couldn't put up with it. I really could not have put up with it for as long as these two have. especially the way they talk to him. Oh, no, 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 no. No, no, no. See, my husband's the foreman in the shop. And he come home one day and he was just livid. And so after he calmed down and stuff, I'm like, what happened? Tell me about it. And he told me I was so mad that I wanted to go down there and turn this kid over my knee and just bust his bottom. And my husband looks at me and goes, "You want to go spank him?" I'm like, yeah, I do. I said, because apparently his mama and daddy never spanked him. Yeah, and that's what I told him. I said, why don't you guys just do, a massive hire and weed out the ones that don't work. Yep, me too. That's who needs to be beat, is the parents. I kind of look at it this way. You can tell a lot about a person, not just by the way they talk to their parents, but how they treat their spouse or their significant other or what have you. And this guy has no respect for anybody at all. He's divorced. He wound up getting a divorce while he was working for my husband and his boss. And I'm like, a leopard don't change their spots. They just don't. I said, if he doesn't respect his wife, and I said, you're never going to get respect from this guy. Which is sad. It is very sad that there has to be lazy people in the world. I'm just glad that his boss has finally seen it. That was one of the things that they were talking about is the guy's attitude, like walking around like he owns the place and stuff. And there's a no cell phone policy. You're not supposed to be on your cell phone when you're working. Well, my husband doesn't take lunch breaks or anything like that. And yeah. He just sends me like a couple of texts during the afternoon when they're supposed to be having lunch. But this guy, he'll walk around on his cell phone, and my husband has told him, you're not supposed to be on your cell phone at work. At lunchtime, you can be on your cell phone before work, after work, but not during work hours. And he basically told my husband that it was none of his damn business that he was told that he could be on his cell phone anytime he wanted. And so my husband quit saying anything to him. And him and my husband and his boss went round and round about this. And when the boss asked the guy about it, he said, I never said that. So it was like my husband's word against his word. And Junior, these are Junior's words as of Tuesday. He said, so I was seeing the kiss butt and you were seeing the real one. And he's like, yeah. See, I told my husband that's what they needed to do, is put in cell phone jammers. And he said, we can't because of the phones they use run off the same signals as cell phones. But that him and Junior had talked about that at one time, putting in cell phone jammers. I think that turned out pretty. I think I did the wrong side, but again, I didn't coat that side. I coated the wrong side. Where did my rack? There it is. There's a lot of places that are starting to install them cell phone jammers because they can't get employees off their cell phones. And that's a really sad thing. You know, you're there to work, not play on your cell phone. At the company that I used to work for, every time we hired teenagers, we'd have to constantly tell them, get off your cell phone, get off your cell phone. And so finally, what I started doing is I got sick of saying it, and we had a drawer that the girls could put their pocketbooks in, and I would say, okay, cell phone in there. And they'd say, why? And I'd say, because you're not supposed to be on your cell phone at work. Put it in the drawer. And as soon as they put it in the drawer, I'd lock it and stick the key in my pocket. And I said, when you go on break, you can have your phone. When you get off break, it goes back in there. If you don't like that, take your butt home. I only had one teenager walk out on me. I said, if you leave, I said, I have to write up that you left. I said, I'm not firing you. I'm just telling you, I don't need you if you're going to stay on your cell phone. I said, because I don't have the authority to fire you, but I can send you home. And she called me the B word, took her phone, and walked out the door and called her a ride. And I'm like, alrighty. And then her mother came in the next day and wanted to talk. Well, her mother started calling me every name in the book, not realizing it was me she was looking for. And I was like, I had to be a smart aleck. And I turned around and looked at the stuff behind me. And then I turned back around and I said, so can I help you? I hear you have a problem with me. And her mom just goes, what? And I'm like, I'm the one who told your daughter that she needed to put her phone in the drawer because we're not allowed to have our phone on the cell room floor because we're not supposed to be on our cell phone during work hours. And she copped an attitude with me, and I told her, well, if you don't want to put your phone in the drawer, then you can take your butt home. I said, I'm not firing you. That's not my place, but I don't have to work with you if you don't want to work. And I said, your daughter does not want to work. She wants to stay on her phone the entire time she's here. She's been warned multiple times, and I'm done doing it. And her mom goes, oh, okay, and walked out. We didn't see her again. Yeah, see, that's what gets me. You know, I don't understand. I really don't. If you don't want to be at work, don't go. But when you're there, you're supposed to be working. And I honestly blame the school systems, because our school systems here in America suck. I'm sorry, they do. They suck. They they don't teach. They don't teach. They basically have taken books out of school and have given every kid a laptop and said, we're going to teach you on this because, well, that's what you need to learn on. So they don't learn how to write. They've taken handwriting out of school. I had to teach both of my sons how to sign their name because schools don't do that anymore. And then my youngest son who just graduated, we were talking about history and stuff, and he was telling me what they were teaching, and I'm like, that's not right. None of that's right. I mean, I feel sorry for people who have to go to school these days. I really do. It's it's just sad. Everything's just sad. We instilled this whole don't leave a child behind policy, or no child left behind policy. So because if you fail a child, it'll hurt their self-esteem. No, what you're doing is teaching this child, oh, you can make all the F's you want. We're gonna pass you anyway, whether you're an idiot or not. I wanted to homeschool my youngest child so badly. I really did. But my husband wouldn't let me. He was like, he needs the friends. I'm like, no, he needs to learn. He can have friends, but he needs an education. And yeah, I can understand why people are pulling kids out. Yeah, my middle son, uh, well, all of my kids are smart in different ways, but my middle son was really good in school. The first one and the second one, such great students. But my middle one, I said he got his daddy's brains. I think I may turn that into a magnet. I think that'd be pretty on my refrigerator. might add some bling around it. The other thing I thought these cutouts would be good for was like if you're having like a party of some kind. Oh yeah. I was thinking these would, like if you're having uh, a party or something and you wanted to do like nameplates or something, I thought these would be awful cute as like little nameplates. Or they'd be cute napkin holders. Get like a cardboard tube and decoupage it to the back and or glue it to the back, decorate the little cardboard ring, and then you could put it in the napkins or whatever. I thought that'd be pretty. Yeah, I had to learn growing up. I mean, my family definitely didn't come from money growing up. What's the old saying? I know how to make a penny squeal. Oh, also, if you guys, I don't know if this applies over there where you're at. I don't know if you guys have a Walmart over there, Catherine. But if you get the Walmart app and you go on the Walmart app and pull up craft supplies, you can sometimes get their craft supplies cheaper than at the Dollar Tree. So I thought I'd pass that along. I learned that last night too. But of course, I love clearance stuff, so I'm always there. Yeah, I really can't think of a time where I I needed anything as a kid. We, like you said, I never realized we were poor as kids. You know, I mean, we were poor, and I had no clue. I mean, as a kid, I thought we were some of the richest people in the world because, you know, my dad would come home and he'd bring us a toy or something, but it was something he made. He would make us toys out of the scrap wood at work where he worked, or one of the guys would bring him like toys from that his kids didn't want anymore, and we were just in hog heaven. And then my grandmother, my dad's mom, worked at Goodwill, and so we get it was a treat for us to go to Goodwill, and her boss would hand us a bag and say, just get whatever you want. And it was stuff like, I mean, as a kid, you know, never heard mom and dad fight over money, never heard them, I mean, there was times I saw my mom cry. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was times like that. But as a kid, we never realized, well, it was because she didn't know what she was going to feed us that night. But somehow, in some way, we'd have something on the table. Yep, or we'd get clothes from our cousins that were hand-me-down, and who cares? It was new to us. I remember Daddy coming home one day and saying, asking Mama if she would like a new living room set. And Mom said, we don't have the money for that. And he said, well, they're changing the furniture. My dad used to work at a mobile home factory. They built mobile homes. And people call them trailers too. That's what my dad used to build. Well, they had one mobile home that they kept on the lot, and it was fully furnished as their showpiece. Well, the boss decided he wanted to put all new appliances, all new furniture in the showpiece, and asked my dad if he wanted the appliances and the furniture. And he said yes to the appliances because at the time, our refrigerator was on its last legs, our stove was on its last legs, but he said he didn't know about the furniture. And so I remember Daddy loading us up and going down there and showing Mama this furniture and her falling in love with it. And I remember that furniture to the day. It was bamboo furniture. And it was a couch, 2 chairs, and I think a love seat. And it was absolutely beautiful. I mean, nobody sat on it or anything. It was for the showroom. And so, yeah, we got all that. And while we were there, we got to meet Mr. Mooney. And I remember running through the trailer and looking at the bedroom. And in the bedroom, there was this little desk. And I looked at my dad and I said, can you make me one? And I said, but I want one bigger, a little bit bigger than this, so I can do my schoolwork at it. And my dad was like, well, yeah, if I get the time, I can. Well, I didn't know Mr. Mooney had heard me. And so I go running back out because Mom called me. And Mr. Mooney told my dad, he said, your daughter wants a desk to do her homework at? And he said, oh, you heard? And he said, yeah. And he said, you pick out whatever you want and you build that girl the desk she wants. And so my dad got to build me a desk. And I thought that was the greatest gift in the world. But Mr. Mooney was just like that. I mean, he was awesome. Yeah, they are. He was the best boss my dad ever had that I knew growing up. When he sold the business, it was heartbreaking because it didn't last after that. But that's shortly after that is when we moved to Tennessee, and that's when I learned what poor was, real poor was. I got to learn how to live without electricity and water, running water. There was a whole year where we would go to school early and we'd take showers at the school before school. But never let it get us down. Yeah, they don't. They don't understand what a good I told my husband, I said, you know what I miss that you guys don't do anymore at your work? And he goes, what's that? When they were at the other shop, every Thanksgiving and every Christmas, they threw a dinner and to show their appreciation for all the hard work that the employees put in. Since they opened this shop, they've only done it twice. And that's because these guys just don't care. You know, so, and he says, why should we throw them a dinner if they don't care? And I'm like, I understand that. I said, but it still sucks, you know? Yeah, I learned how to cook in a fireplace and on a hibachi when I was growing up. And then we moved into a trailer, and the trailer we lived in, if it rained, it flooded. So my brother and I would have to put on play clothes and carry our school books. It sounds like a made up story. I had to walk 15 miles in the snow uphill. But no, we used to have to cross a bridge in our play clothes. If the water was high, wade through the water, go over to this old house at the end of the road, and we would change our clothes in their well house, leave our wet clothes there, go to school, come home, change back into the clothes would be dry by the time we got out of school, change back into those in case the road was still flooded, and walk back through the water. And we did that for 3 years. Oh, that took forever with the tea lights. Yeah, we had to walk to the bus stop at that one house. Rain, snow, it didn't matter. I remember them days. I'll never forget one day we were coming home from the bus stop, and the water was down, had went down enough that we didn't have to worry about, wading through the water, but we had to, there was like a little bridge that we had to cross to get to our trailer. And I looked at my brother and I'm like, there's a big old rock in the road. And he's like, yeah. I said, well, we'll have to push it out of the road or Dad'll hit it, you know. And she put 7 lights in the crackles. Oh, wow. That's cool. But As we got closer to what we thought was a rock, it turned out to be a big snapping turtle. And people who say turtles are slow have never seen a snapping turtle. This thing would not let us cross the bridge to go home. And we tried everything to get this turtle to move. And we even tried going around it. And if we went around it, it would dodge towards us. And so we had to stand at the bridge, and we realized that our dad was home. And so we started screaming for our dad, and he finally heard us, and he come down there going, "What is wrong with you two?" And we're like, "The demon turtle from hell won't let us come home." Oh yeah, I love my electricity. It took my dad forever to get the turtle off too. I told my dad, I said, "Can we go back to Florida now? I miss the alligators." I hated snow. I still hate snow. But at least it doesn't flood where I live now, so I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I mean, growing up, we were never taught to be afraid of anything. Uh, you try to puzzle it out yourself the best you can. But yeah, that turtle was vicious. So we learned quite early that you don't mess with turtles that have, what was it, pointy tails. As a kid, I didn't like snow. I'll never forget, our mom and dad said, "We're moving to Tennessee because you kids have never seen snow." Okay. So we get into our house, and 3 weeks later, a blizzard hit. And I'm like, "Okay, we saw this stuff. Can we go home now?" Yeah, in Florida, we were used to the box turtles and stuff like that, scorpions, big squirrels, alligators. I mean, I know there's snapping turtles in Florida, but we'd never seen a snapping turtle, so we didn't know what kind of turtle this was except a turtle from hell. But yeah, it was a snapper. We used to go blackberry picking because the field behind the trailer was just full of blackberries. And Dad said if we wanted spending money, if we would pick him blackberries, he'd give us spending money. And so he'd give us $5 for a 5-gallon bucket. And we thought that was just over the moon. And I'll never forget this one day. I'm out there and I'm picking blackberries. My bucket's almost full. And I grab this branch to pull it out of my way. And I look in my hand and there is this tongue flickering. And I'm like, I didn't know if it was a poisonous snake. I just knew I had its head in my hand. And so I just calmly take my bucket and the snake in my hand, and I walk home. and I have the snake behind my back. And my dad goes, "Your bucket's not completely full." I said, "I know, I have a problem." And my dad's like, "Well, what's your problem?" And I'll never forget this because my mom had some lady friends over and they were at the kitchen table and they were talking and they got real quiet. And I'm like, "Daddy, I don't know what to do with this." And I pulled my hand out from behind my back. I said, I was reaching for a branch and what I thought was a branch. And I said, and I grabbed a hold of this and I said, "I can't open my hand because I don't know if he'll bite me." And my dad's looking at it and he said, "All you have to do is go outside and open your hand, drop it over the little, we had a porch." He said, "Just drop it over the railing in the yard." I said, "Daddy, I don't think I can open my hand." And these women started screaming, "Oh my God, she has a snake." And I'm like, "Daddy, tell them to shut up." So my daddy goes outside with me and he goes, "Okay, on the count of 3, drop it." I'm like, "Okay." And so when he counted, I dropped it. And it turned out it was just a little black snake. But, you know, as a kid, I know what a rattlesnake is because, well, they have the rattle on them, but, you know, there's so many kinds of venomous snakes out there that you don't know. Yeah, my dad was really cool. He still is. I remember coming home one day and going, "Hey, Daddy, what's this?" And I had a tarantula. I said, "What kind of spider is this, Daddy?" He's like, "It needs to go back outside. That's what kind that is." That's when we lived in Florida because the tarantulas run wild out there. And scorpions where we live. And apparently the tarantula I picked up was actually a venomous kind. So if it had bitten me, I would have been in trouble. But my dad always stayed very, very calm. And so as a kid, it was like, "Oh, okay, you know, Dad just said take it back outside. Okay, come on, little spider." Today, you wouldn't catch me picking up a spider. I don't care what it is. It would be squished. But yeah, my dad was really cool. We'd bring home lizards. "Daddy, is this poisonous or can I keep it?" You know, if it's poisonous, it's already all over you. Well, see, like in Florida, there's a snake. It's red, yellow, and black. And there's a saint, or is it white, yellow, and black? I don't remember. It's 3 colors. I'm thinking it's yellow, red, and black. And there was a saying they taught us as kids to know the difference between the venomous one and the non-venomous one. Any snake with the name Hug in it, I don't want to know it. Because I don't think hug means nice. Yeah, I'm thinking, see, like I said, there was a snake in Florida that's, I'm almost positive it's yellow, red, and black. And there was a saying, I cannot remember the saying, that they taught us as kids. that if something touches black, it's a friend of Jack. But I can't remember if it's yellow. It was a friend of Jack, red friend of Jack. See, I don't remember the saying. Oh, that's cool. But now I think I was watching a program not too long ago where ours that was non-venomous in another country, that same snake is venomous. And I'm like, oh great. So if I'd have went to that country as a kid, I'd have picked it up and then died. And I'll never forget growing up as a kid, you know, like I said, we grew up in Florida, so there's the sharks and the alligators and stuff, and we never grew up with fears as kids swimming in the lakes with the alligators and stuff, because my dad, my aunt, my uncles, and all of them, they used to tell us, they won't bite you, because if they bite you underwater, they'll drown. We have one called a corn snake. Ah, Snogus snake. Cool. See, I don't think our corn snakes are poisonous. They're very pretty. Oh wow! So snog and worm means snake, can mean snake in there over there. That's cool. That's really cool. Oh, I've been on here 3 hours. I don't mind though. I like it. I like being on and chatting. Crafty. We only have 3 kinds of snakes. I know the U.S. has a ton of snakes, but a lot of them are, have come from other countries that people have smuggled in that they shouldn't have. Put some clean in this one. Hey, Jen. And normally it's just me and Jennifer. Nobody else is ever on. Happy Ray comes in some, and now you. Most of Most of my live streams wind up turning into just chit chats. I will be able to. I know my aunt likes butterflies, and she's going to be here Monday, and I want to make her something. I thought maybe she might like this butterfly. But I don't know if I need to do hot glue, which I may do. Yeah, I'm wondering if I keep sitting here looking at it going, it needs some, and it needs some bling. Let's plug it old hot glue gun. I'll probably take. I know they make this stuff with the sticker on it, and I have some, but I don't trust it. I just want to make her a little something to take back. Because I know she's going to wind up bringing me something over. She always does. I'm hoping for chocolate. Love the chocolate from over there. My dad updated us last night. Her ETA she'll be in at midnight Monday. So I definitely will not be on. I don't want to say definitely won't be on Tuesday. I don't know yet. Because I don't know if my dad had plans to take her out Tuesday. I'm hoping not. And my other aunt's supposed to be in on, I thought this weekend. So I've got an aunt coming in from Florida, and I got an aunt coming in from England. Oh, I need to. Look at this. What is she doing? Show you what I'm doing. That's probably more than what I need. Okay, since we're waiting for the glue gun to heat up, this is the correction pen that I was, y'all can see that I took out, or that I got from the Dollar Tree. Wait, no, this one goes back. They're threaded backwards, so you have to do it left to take it off. Um, that is what's inside of it when it has the correction fluid in it. We don't need that. So I've used the paint thinner. I took the correction fluid out. It's already been cleaned and dried. There's none in the lid. And I'm going to attempt to get this Elmer's glue in there. I said attempt. Because I do not remember how she filled hers up. I guess I'll have to go slower than that. This was the only cut I could think of. I will tell you, it took me probably 4 or 5 times with the paint thinner to get it to where it would run clear-ish, clear enough that I could run water into it. I would have done this with the funnel, but I don't think the funnel would have helped. Not with trying to put glue in. And my husband was telling me after my dad gave me the paint thinner that I could have done the same thing with my nail polish remover that has acetone in it. So if you have nail polish with acetone in it, or if you have acetone, you can do the same thing to get the correction fluid out. Oh. Okay, I think it's full. I'm not sure. I'm trying to. It feels full because it feels cold. I'm going to take just that much out. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Then you're just going to put your lid back on. And keep your cap. And then if you've ever used the correction pin, you know you have to squeeze as you do it. But is that glue showing you guys? Oh, yeah, you can see. So now you have a glue pin for those really thin die cuts or or whatever. Just remember to squeeze as you're doing it. Okay, and then wipe the tip off. Set it right there for just a second, because the other thing we need is a makeup sponge. And you're like, why do we need a makeup sponge? I will show you. Just cut you a little piece off of the makeup sponge. It doesn't have to be very big. And what is that bottle of water? You don't have to use distilled water. It's just here, so that's why I'm using it. Wet your sponge. And then squeeze your sponge up a little, because you don't want like solid wet. And we're going to poke it down in there with a skewer or whatever you can get to poke it down in there. She said she doesn't know if that's necessary or not, but she said it'll at least keep the tip moist. Oh, I think my blueprint's ready. Let's see, we're not going to start the bling yet. Okay, try to start right there. Okay, when I'm going to put my glasses on. I'm trying to run a very thin bead of glue so that it doesn't look all bulky. That it doesn't lose too much. Okay, let's go get my glasses. Here we go. Now, as I can see, I'm back again. You sit there. I have a lot of glue on me. Clean up the bits of glue later. Oh wow, one almost went completely around. Yay! Except for this one did that. Let's see. I'll start. That dried too fast. Stick. No, no. This antenna ain't going really good really good. And this one's like, nope, not gonna make me here pretty. That's cute. There. So it's pretty. Hey, Mac, how are you? How's you doing? Very welcome. I'm gonna turn that off because that's video of hers. There's church, there's no plug-in. Oh, the magnets are right there. And they're not. Enjoying summer vacation? It needs thought that would be a cute refrigerator magnet. Think, think. Looks like in the middle. Little baby. Oh. Let me stand up, y'all. Okay, let's see. Hello. It needs something for the middle, but I don't know what. I can't find my magnets. So I was gonna glue a magnet on the back of it. It'll come to me where I put them later. Just figure out which side I want to be the front. I think that's gonna be the front. I don't know. Do you think it needs anything? Use it as a coaster. The napkin won't come up or anything when it gets wet because of the Mod Podge. I even thought about just gluing it to one of these. And she could stick it in a flower arrangement or something. Well, I have Mod Podge on it, but let's see. I've got varnish. We'll put varnish on it. That way, if she wants to use it as a coaster, she can use it as a coaster. Good idea. Good idea. Yes, I know she does gardening. She has a very lovely garden. I thought I smelled cinnamon for for a minute. I thought it was my glue gun. It's not that. Oh, I don't know where the cinnamon's coming from, but I smell cinnamon. So I don't think I need my glue gun, so look at that perfume. It's not there for now. Cinnamon doesn't remind me of anybody, so at least not off the top of my head. Now, the other day, I got a real strong smell of English, no, not English, Egyptian musk. That's a perfume my mother used to wear when she was alive. I guess she was coming by to say hey. Just don't want to hit that too much because of the glue, hot glue. was on the back of it before I put the sealant on it. Let's see. I think they write it. Yeah. Yeah, I believe that too. Like, I had stopped smoking for a while, and I hadn't told my dad I had started back, and it was so funny because I'd started smoking Pall Mall. I did not know that when his father was alive, that's what he smoked. And my dad and I went out one day, and there was an empty Pall Mall pack in the parking lot that we went to, and he goes, I swear, he said, for the last 3 weeks, he said, my dad must be trying to get a hold of me because every time I turn around, there's a pack of Pall Malls laying down on the ground, you know, an empty pack. And I was like, oh my God. And I looked at Dad and I was like, okay, look, I started smoking again and I actually am smoking Pall Malls. And my dad started to crack up. And he said, maybe it was your grandfather telling on you. But I don't know why at that moment I felt the need to just go, okay, I'm smoking now and I'm smoking Pall Malls. And when my dad said that, he said, I guess your grandpa was telling on you that. Yeah, I was just like, wow. That name should be drawn up. I hope it don't smear. I've never tested that pen before. So just in case, I'm going to do all this first. Oh, it smeared it. Just dab, 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 dab. On brush. I think they're about to put it there. Okay. Okay, that was my son. Oh, wow. Okay, that was my son. He's off work, so I'm going to have to go pick him up. So, yeah, I have to go. I should be on Monday because, like I said, my aunt won't be here till midnight. So, I won't be going anywhere. And we'll double check the glue pin I made and see if it still works. And yeah, so I'm gonna have to go. Sorry, I was having so much fun. I didn't expect him to get off till later. But yeah, so I am going to close and I will talk to y'all hopefully Monday. So you too, Catherine. I loved it. You'll have to come into the next one and we'll have to chat some more. But until then, I will see you guys later. So bye from Tennessee. You're very welcome.